What's up all you hosts and hostettes, ToyShiz here, and I got a really awesome fresh look for you guys today, courtesy of Diamond Select. They went ahead, they sent over their brand new action figures based on the hit HBO series Westworld. They sent over Dr. Robert Ford, Delores Abernathy, and of course, the Man in Black. These are the deluxe versions of the characters. There are also Walgreens of these same exact figures hitting now, but they do come with less accessories for the Walgreens versions. And there are actually two Doloreses. There's a Walgreens exclusive Dolores. She's more in her more Western attire outside of her skirt. If you go ahead and look at the packaging, it is in a different styled Diamond Select packaging, more like an old-fashioned card back. You get to see each individual figure, and they are packaged nicely. It's not that giant usual clamshell that we're used to with Diamond Select. On the back side of the card, each character has the exact same copy. Gives you a little history of Westworld and what these figures are all about. So sit back, order yourself a sarsaparilla, throw a dime to the piano player. These are the brand new Diamond Select Westworld action figures, Wave 1. Now, first off, we have Anthony Hopkins' character, Dr. Robert Ford, and he comes with a few accessories. You get an extra head portrait, a couple extra hands, and of course, his loyal greyhound dog. There's no articulation on the actual, let's say, figure, but it is nicely painted overall. One thing I will point out, that when actually taking it out with all the twisty ties and such, this was actually rubbed up against one of them and it kind of nicked the paint. It does have a nice face on it. I just wish that there was some articulation, maybe in the head even. Just something, just to give it that extra little, you know what I mean? You do get an extra set of open hands, but he doesn't come with anything to hold. And for the actual figure, you do get an alternate head portrait. This one, the hat is as fixed to the head. This one, looking a bit more Anthony Hopkins. And of course, switching the heads is easy. You just go ahead. It's on a ball joint, just like this. Push down, snaps on really nicely. Looks spot on to the character from the television show. He's got a nice spotted tie right there going into his pocket watch keychain. These figures have an excellent representation of that Wild West feel. There's just a little bit of a paint rub on him just to give him a little more dirtied up look. This is Westworld after all, but he does have very clean, very sharp shoes. The sleeves are sculpted nice. Not much going on in the back. He does have some pockets. Let's go over the articulation. Older gentleman, but he's still pretty flexible in his old age, and he's actually a really nicely sculpted figure. They did a really nice job. Next up, we have the Evan Rachel Wood character, Delores Abernathy. It's a very simplistic figure. She does come with her one accessory, which is her satchel bag with the mystery can of goods. If you knew the show, yeah, that's a pretty good accessory for her to come with. The bag is all dirtied up. It looks nice. The can is painted well. It's got a little bit of weathering on top for an old-timey looking can. You do get some outlines of cans within the folds of the bag, so that's a nice attention to detail. Dolores herself is, like I said, a very simplistic action figure. I'm glad that we have her. She's a very titular character in the show, but it's the likeness of Evan Rachel Wood. It's sort of off in certain ways. It works, I say, from the side. It looks a little bit like her, but when looking at her dead on, I would say that that's where it falls a little bit flat. It does have some really lovely hair sculpted in, and that looks great with the paint job that they have applied. You get all sorts of colors to it, from a brown, orange, down to a dirty blonde. Everything else is sculpted nicely. The line work of the yellow around her blouse. The belt buckle to the belt has little intricate design aspects to it. She's got a little pouch right there. And really nice folds in the dress. The dress is a hard plastic, so and it's not removable. You could probably find a way to do it. But underneath, she is a fully articulated figure, which looks to have double jointed knees. She's got cowboy boots on, some white stocking pants. In terms of the articulation, He's not a bad figure, but it's just kind of a kind of figure. Which finally brings us to the Man in Black. In terms of the accessories, he does come with his floppy cowboy hat. It's a little bit of a malleable rubber hat, but it looks great. Nicely painted. He also comes with two aspects of the show. I won't get into it too much for spoilers, but the thing that he carries around. You got the bloodied scalp with the maze in the middle. You got the hair on top. And then this version is the actual maze, and it's rendered really, really nicely. It's a nice disc shape. He also does come with a variety of extra hands, trigger fingers, open hands, and also a knife holding hand and a punching fist. The extra hands on the figure are easily swappable. Simply just pull them out and put in the according hand that you'd like, and they fit nicely. There's no problems whatsoever. Initial promo photos for this figure was a little bit more on par with it looking like Ed Harris. It's not a bad face sculpt, but it doesn't exactly scream Ed Harris. However, it is close enough to say, like, yes, that's the Man in Black. So it's kind of like the Delores Abernathy with the Evan Rachel Wood. It resembles them, but it's not exactly the actual actor. This Man in Black is elegantly decorated. Little inlets of silver. The gun is painted nicely. His tie is a little bit more of a very muted purple. It's a dark purple. The flesh is painted nicely. The hair, the eyes, the mouth. Now, as I had previously said, he does come with an extra accessory, which is his knife, and it does fit into the holster on his belt. It's got bullets on the backside under his coat. The one thing is, it took me a while to slip this in just to see how it fits, and for the life of me, I cannot get this out. But as you can see, the knife underneath, it doesn't have a backside to the holster. However, when I was pulling on it, I went to go pull on the actual handle part right here, and it snapped up part of the handle. So it's not coming out, unfortunately, and I don't want to ruin it any more than I have. I'm very upset about that I did that, but just be careful. Once it's in, for yours, it might be in. It's very hard to get it in initially, and then pulling it out, I ended up doing that. The other thing is that much like recent, we'll just say, Red Hood figures, this is a sculpted in gun, and you can tell because you can see the bottom point of the barrel sticking out the bottom of the holster. That is a big question mark because, first of all, he is the Man in Black. You can put the knife in the holster and it's removable. Why isn't the pistol removable? He even comes with trigger finger hands, and it's unfortunate, and it really drives me nuts. The whole shtick with the Man in Black is that he's a gunslinger and he can't even take his gun out. This is actually sculpted to where you can actually just have the hand right here, and it looks like he's pulling it back, like he's about to do a duel. As a display, he looks amazing. He looks dang good, and I gotta give it to him on that. My favorite aspect of this is the boots with the dirt. Paid close attention to that. He looks very Western, very worn. Why they would give a Western cowboy figure a gun and you can't pull it out. However, the gun's painted nicely, nice handle, everything else, but that was so frustrating. I thought it was stuck in there. You know how sometimes the paint will close around, expanding? It does not, unfortunately. In terms of the articulation, much like the rest of the figures in this particular wave, he's very well articulated. This is one great looking figure. And just to show some scale, here they are with some other company brands. These figures do clock in around the 7-inch mark. The Man in Black being a little bit more at the 7-inch scale, whereas Dolores and Robert Ford clock in just under the 7-inch mark. And here they are with the recent New York Comic Con NECA Toys Batman figure and the Hasbro Transformer Siege Optimus Prime. So that's going to do it for my fresh look at the brand new Diamond Select Westworld Wave 1 action figures. Thank you again to Diamond Select for sending them over. Now, I I will say this. I think as a collective, as a Wave 1 series, these all look very indicative of Westworld. It's very well done. The paint is very well done, and they're very well articulated, I have to say. In terms of the accessories, used a little bit more oomph to them. Couple problems with the Man in Black, with having the gun and now the knife, the once removable knife, stuck in the holster, and then I ended up cracking it, so just be careful with that. He does come with extra hands, but if you can't really use any of the weapons, it's kind of like, well, what's the point for all of them? Dolores, a little bit more of the boring type of the three, I will say, and I say that lovingly because she is a very well executed figure, not so much in the face of Evan Rachel Wood, but in terms of being a very Western looking like the character. They did an okay job. I think they nailed it in terms of Anthony Hopkins over Ed Harris. Anthony Hopkins minus the hat head portrait really does look fantastic. They did an excellent job. Ed Harris, much like Dolores, I think it resembles them, but it's not exactly the actor and the actress playing them. And the dog is okay. I really wanted some more articulation out of them. But like I said, as a whole, and with the knowledge of knowing that Wave 2 is coming, I think Westworld is going to look very elegant on your shelf, especially if you are a Western fan or, heck, a fan of the actual show. But I am curious to know what you guys think. Comment below, let me know. Let's talk all things Westworld. Any favorite parts, characters? What's your favorite season so far? I'm interested to know. I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember that everybody in the park is either a host or a human that was once a host and now they're a host. And you know what? This show is extremely bonkers, but I absolutely love it. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.